Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hopefully, your week is going all right. Just wanted to do a quick recap. Obviously, if anybody's been watching, I've made that transition into options, and honestly, it's been one of the best transitions that I've made. I've just been able to stay pinpoint laser focused rather than trading, a ton of different stocks. I focus mainly on all the tech stocks, so it keeps me really zoned in. And the last handful of days have been really good. So, including today, today's a very small winner. Things have just really slowed down, but in the last 3 days, I've made $600 trading options, and it's pretty crazy because I'm not putting a lot of money into each one of these trades. So it's on very little money invested with pretty good return just because of being able to try to get in at a good entry and guess directionally right. So just to kind of quickly go over the recap of today, and then I want to show an option chain, and I kind of want to talk a little bit more about what I have found works for me as far as what I like to trade. I like to trade out of the money options, right? So as far as today goes, we'll quickly do a recap of the trades. I ended up taking some puts on Facebook. So Netflix and Baba both had big moves to the upside this morning, and I kind of missed them because things were moving a little slow. I was a little hesitant, so I sat on my hands. So I missed those moves. And then Facebook, on a bigger time frame, seemed to have a big level, as well as the 50 period simple moving average right around the 177.50, and it looked weak. So I figured maybe we could get a flush of that and not go down forever, but at least have a nice move. So I ended up taking some puts. I took the cheap contracts, 73 cents. I took 3 of them. It wasn't going my way really fast, so I ended up just getting out for only minus $3. And then Tesla ended up consolidating, kind of breaking low of day, and I ended up taking some puts there, and I only took 2 contracts at $1.58, and I got out at 2.15. So a very nice move on that, and I made 114. So as you can see, losing $3 and making 114. This is the key thing. I have been able to manage the risk way better and just not take those huge losses like on some of those trades that I would take when I was trading gaps. Being that I'm so stubborn, I wouldn't always take that stop loss, and those losses would just get so ugly. So the options have really helped me out. I'll quickly go over kind of just what I even saw on these things. So on the 30-minute chart, I really like to go into the bigger time frames. This 177.50 looked to be big support, right? So I figured, and it was a pretty big sell-off yesterday, and then kind of consolidated towards the lows. So I figured if we could break that, there could be a break of that 50 period simple moving average and get a nice move to the downside. And then you go on to a intraday chart, and it's kind of hanging there right now. So this thing could possibly even sell off, but it's a slower day, so I'm done. But had a nice move higher, totally failed to move higher. And then, had a big move down, and we kind of, in this area, I ended up taking some puts, and it wasn't going fast. And we're kind of just consolidating. And I've seen before that sometimes it consolidates to the lows, and that was already a decent move down. And I didn't want to get caught in this thing potentially going back up. So it wasn't going my way relatively quickly. So I ended up just getting out of the trade for a tiny loser. But it ended up having a nice little move down. Obviously, this thing has since pushed higher, made a lower high, and it is testing low again. So this thing could maybe have another leg down, but we'll see how it goes. It is a slower day. And then as far as Tesla goes, Tesla on the intraday, this thing was a little all over the place in the morning, but this 328.50, big support, right? And it kept putting in, lower highs. So I figured that there's a shot this thing could break low a day and go. So I ended up taking puts in this area right here at what was it? 10.08. So I ended up taking puts in this area right here. Ended up having a little pop, and then flushed the low a day, and then I took it on this move. So got a real nice move there. This was just seeing intraday support at 328.50. Tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4th time, finally went. Can only hit a support level so much before finally something happens. So I went for it, and ended up having a good move. And the really cool thing about, once again, with options, I know I keep mentioning this, but the contracts were only $1.58, right? So I bought 2. So I was in the trade for a total of $316. And I made 114. So on that specific trade alone, just with the Tesla trade, I made 36% ROI on my money, which is insane. Now you factor in the total of everything today. So I got the Facebook contracts at 73 cents times 3. I was in that for 219. And then the 158 times 2 plus the 219. So I was in all the trades total today. The amount of money that I put into the market was only $535, and I made 111 on that. So the 111 divided by the 535. So total ROI today on all my money put to work was 20.7%. So rounded up 21%, which is, I mean, it's awesome. You know, the options are very, very powerful. They're a little bit more difficult to trade, but overall they're amazing. So quickly, just to go over what I have figured out after screwing around, what I like to trade out of the money, meaning the stock has not traded to that point yet. And the reason why I like to do that is here is an option chain. I know it's a little small, but hopefully everyone can see this. The delta. The delta is how fast the option moves. When correlated to the stock. So the lower the delta, the slower it moves. The higher the delta, the faster it moves. I like out of the money because the delta is going to be lower, and if you're right directionally, when it gets closer to that strike, it will speed up. So typically what I'm doing is, I have a few things that I'm watching, but then what I do is I start plugging in. So let's say, I wanted to trade Tesla. I chose my option, the 327.50, because that was where a good amount of volume was, right? I see the volume. So I'm not going to trade something that has low volume. So I quickly look at it. I'm looking at the option chain. The left side is calls. The right side is puts. And I try to choose something that has good volume and that's priced relatively all right. And then the delta is all right. So I could have gone, the 330s, but they were priced at, over $2. So I just didn't really feel like paying that much per contract. So I went a little bit lower and I ended up seeing, all right, that has a good amount of volume. Double click it, it pulls it up on the options level 2, and then this is pretty much just where I'm trading from. And Tesla has a spready, so I play with the spread. I'll throw limit orders close to the bid side, and sometimes I have to mess with it and see if I get filled, and there's plenty of times where I don't get filled and I miss the trade, but that's just how it goes. So after some screwing around, I figured out that out of the money is what I like, and all it is just trying to find where the volume's at. So let's assume that I wanted to trade BABA today. I mean, Bob had a crazy move higher. So as far as the call side, I would try to find out where the most volume is. And as you can see, this 175 call has over 8,500 contracts traded today. So I would focus on, the areas of where they have, high volume and they're out of the money. So it just takes some critiquing. I'm not saying that out of the money is the only way to do this. You can do any way possible, but I have found that I like out of the money because that delta being a little bit lower, if I am wrong, it's very slow against me, so it doesn't hurt as bad. And then if it quickly drops in my favor, it does start to speed up. And even though I do leave a little bit of money on the table, because if I traded just in the money, I would be making more. But what I'm trying to do is try to protect the downside. So focusing on out of the money is my main focus for now. It took a little bit for me to mess around with it, and overall so far, very happy with how things are going. But this is just what I'm doing. I'm using the option level 2, and I'm using an option chain, and I just have my charts to the left, I have my light speed to the right, and I have this. And as I'm looking at the charts and I see something moving, I'll pull up the ticker, and then I'm quickly just looking at where all the volume is, where the most contracts are being traded, and then pulling them up, and then trying to get an entry if it's something that I'm interested in trading. So just wanted to do a quick little video because we are going into the holidays. Things slow down. I most likely will not be trading tomorrow because today things really did slow down, and I know tomorrow, not only being that it's Friday, but going into the holidays, it's going to be super, super slow. So I am most likely done. Overall, very happy with the week. The numbers aren't huge, but once again, it's not the numbers that I'm trying to focus on right now. It's just that risk. So to be able to pull off, a day where I'm only having a $3 loser and a $114 winner, that looks a lot different and a lot better than how some of my days were. And as of right now, I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but I've been very, very, very consistent with options. So just figured I'd, give everyone an update and let you know how it's going. So overall, very happy, and going to be taking a little bit of a break from trading because tomorrow's Friday. I believe it's closed Monday. Going into the holidays, that's just how it goes. So hopefully everybody has, a great holiday season, and I will be back after the holidays to hopefully keep things going. So see you later.